Well, here we are. Another sad bit of news. One of my favourite all-time fighters, and in my opinion probably one of the most underrated fighters of all time, Mike McCallum, has passed away. I haven't seen the cause of death yet. The reports I've seen, I can't actually find out how old he was, because some places I've seen said he was 69 and some places have seen he's 68. I've looked all over online, and some places list his date of birth as 1955 and some places say 1956, so I'm not entirely sure exactly how old the guy was. Still too young, in my opinion, to die. I haven't found the cause of death yet. All I've seen is apparently he was complaining of not feeling very well while driving his car, and when the police came they found him non-responsive, and he's since passed away. And it's just absolutely tragic. I mean, this guy was a fucking machine in his day. If you've never seen a Mike McCallum fight in his prime, you go back. And the amount of legends the guy beat as well, you know, and it's criminally underrated. He's criminally underrated in my opinion. I mean, you know, he should be up there with the greats. You know, the guy, he competed at the 1976 Olympic Games. He didn't win a medal. He did win gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in '78. Turned pro in '81. Went undefeated. In 1984, I believe it was, he won his first world title. He took the vacant WBA Light-Middleweight title from Sean Mannion, unanimous decision. He made 6 defences of that, and amongst those defences, Julian Jackson, he stopped Julian Jackson in 2 rounds. I mean, Julian Jackson, for crying out loud. Donald Curry wiped him out with that famous left hook, put him to sleep in 5 rounds. Milton McCrory, another criminally underrated fighter, dangerous fighter at the time. He beat him, I think he stopped him in 10. He vacated the title, moved up in 1988 to middleweight. He was unsuccessful challenging Sumbu Kalambay for the WBA middleweight title, but he would get another crack at it. I think it was in '89. He beat Herol Graham. Now Herol Graham, another underrated fighter, you know, one of the greatest fighters never to win a world title in my opinion, and he never quite made it. But Herol Graham lost a split decision to Mike McCallum for the WBA middleweight title. I know there was a lot of people unhappy with that fight. I've seen it since. I mean, I didn't watch it live because I wasn't into boxing at the time, but I've seen it back since over the years, and yeah, it was a decent enough fight. I thought that McCallum just nicked it, but a lot of people in the crowd were not happy that Herol Graham didn't get the nod. So by this point, Mike McCallum is now two-weight world champion. He did make several defences. I think 3 or 4 defences maybe. The WBA middleweight title. He beat Kalambay in a rematch. He beat Steve Collins. He beat Michael Watson. He knocked Michael Watson out cold in 1989. Fucking fantastic. You know, it's just already the resume, you know, is way up there. He was stripped by the WBA for taking a fight against James Toney, who was the IBF champion at the time. They had a great fight in I think it was in December of '91, and it went to a draw. A lot of people, including myself, thought McCallum deserved the nod in that one, but it wasn't meant to be. It was a close fight, it was a decent fight. I just felt that McCallum did enough to win, but he got the draw. They met again the following year. This time James Toney got I think it was a majority decision. So a very, very close fight. Again, I didn't mind this one. I was quite happy with Toney getting it. It was a very close fight. I didn't mind Toney getting the nod in that one. But McCallum and his fans and his people thought he won that one. He would fight James Toney again, but that was right at the end of his career in '97. Actually lost it was a cruiserweight. He lost a unanimous decision. He would, I'm just looking at my notes scribbled out here. In 1994, he became a 3-weight world champion. He beat Jeff Harding, the Australian, to win the WBC light heavyweight title. He did make 1 successful defence against a guy called Carl Jones. I think it was Carl Jones. Stopped him. That was actually on the undercard of Nigel Benn's infamous fight against Gerald McClellan. And then he lost it to Fabrice Tiozzo in Italy. And that was a split decision. I think it was a fight he could have won. And like I say, he then lost to the great Roy Jones Jr. and then obviously James Toney in '97, and he retired and he went on to become a trainer. I know he worked with Mike Tyson. He was in Mike Tyson's corner the night that Tyson lost to Lennox Lewis in 2002. Just a great fighter, and it's just a tragedy that he died. You know, we seem to be losing a lot of people lately. I mean, Carlos Monzon died recently. I mean, he was well into his 80s, so a bit more expected. We lost George Foreman earlier this year. The young lady, excuse me folks, my brain has just gone dead. The young lady passed away. She only had three fights. I can't think of her fucking name. I do apologise. We lost her tragically to cancer a few weeks ago. And it's just like, man, oh man, it just seems to be every time I switch my phone on. It might be a bit exaggeration, but somebody's either died or something horrible's happened to them. Like that young man in Japan, who's currently, he's suffered a brain injury in his IBF minimum weight title fight the other week. So I hate doing videos like this, but it's just sad. I mean, life is sad. Life is very, very tragic. So I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon watching Mike McCallum fights, I think, just to remember the warrior, how highly regarded. I hold him in high regards. So if anybody out there who's watching this has never seen Mike McCallum fight, do yourself a favour, have a look at him. He was an absolutely fantastic machine, fantastic fighter, criminally underrated in my opinion. So yeah, that's enough at me. Take care folks, I'll speak to you soon.